Welcome back to the Diamond Crew Sports Podcast. I am your boy, Jihaad. First off today, man, we're going to talk about the tale of the two halves. You know, basically how it shook out. Eagles 31, Tampa 25. Look, man, first half of this game, smooth. Like smooth as hell. Second half, bruh, it was like night and day. 0 completions. -1 yard of offense, 0 for 8 passing after halftime. That's not a typo. In my opinion, man, that is a red flag, and we got to talk about it, man. Not good for Kevin Patullo. You know, not good for this offense. You know, but we going to talk about what we got to do to get this offense going. First off, man, let's talk about A.J. Brown. Kevin Patullo, man. Got to get him going. AJ had 2 for 7 of 9 targets and then posted a Bible verse about quietly withdrawing. Look, man, I feel like he just want to win. He's competitive. And Patullo, he said out his own mouth that their relationship is good and they're in a good spot. If that's the case, man, we need to get him some easy touches. We need to get him some motion, some stacks. You know, basically, man, don't make your Ferrari sit in the garage, man. Get him out there. Get the ball in his hands in space. The Philadelphia Eagles, man, we got to find our identity on the offensive side of the ball, man. We got to talk about this run game as well. We got to talk about what Patullo said, man. He said they're close in the run game and still filling it out after 4 weeks. There has been some tough defenses. I'm not going to lie. This was a tough stretch for the Philadelphia Eagles, and we still was able to come out unscathed. And look, man, I hear him. But how I feel, man, first downs can't be wasted downs. Early downs, that sequencing, it has to help Jalen, not handcuff him. We got to get some positive yards early in these drives. We don't never get the ball rolling first down. Most of the time, it's just a run, something like that. We need something better than that. So, man, look, man, the defense carried. It carried us. Defense played 72 snaps, kept us upright. Because without them, man, we would have been fried. We would have been done. Quinyon Mitchell, man, a straight dog. Shadowed and smothered. You know, he's playing like a grown man. Look, Bleeding Green Nation gave him his flowers. And look, man, if you watch the tape agrees with it. Bro was a dog. Also, man, let's talk about CB2 right now. Khalil Ringo, his stock is up. I thought that Khalil Ringo played great. Ringo versus the Bucs, man. His stat line, 1 catch, 8 yards, 1 PBU allowed. Sticky and man. Look, we all seen that his tackling, he's polished. He ain't tackle well. Fangio flat out said it in his presser. Just like I said, man, tackling was terrible. Asked if Ringo keeps his job when Adoree Jackson is healthy. He said it's possible. And in my opinion, how I feel, that is music to my ears. I don't think that Khalil Ringo is extremely good. I just think that Adoree Jackson, or number 8, as I usually say, is that bad. Can't tackle, can't cover, can't do nothing. But we're going to see how that goes, man. But let's talk about a guy who can do everything. Simply magnificent. Cooper DeJean, man. Cooper DeJean, he plays with an edge. Cooper DeJean is a tackling clinic with that Philly swagger, bro. Maybe too much swag this game as he, stepped over the guy like Allen Iverson. But the physicality, it pops out on tape. It's lit, man. Cooper DeJean is one of them ones. All right, y'all, let's talk about the linebacker play, man. The linebacker play was cooking, bruh. They was cooking out there. Let's talk about the stat line of the day. Baun, Jihaad Campbell. Look, man, combined for 12 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 1 interception, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Baun logged 8, a sack and a forced fumble. Campbell forced a fumble and grabbed a goal line interception. Huge momentum plays for the defense. Jihaad Campbell, man, that was a play that really turned the tides for us. Also, man, that third best linebacker in coverage, that claim is floating around. Currently, man, PFF Swings has Campbell top 5 in coverage with a grade of 90.1 through 4 weeks. Either way, man, it's elite. Either way, as a rookie, this guy is playing great football. Howie has done it again. Let's talk about something else that happened this week, man. Special teams, straight fire, straight lit. Look, man, back-to-back games with special team touchdowns, field goal flipping, game swinging. That phase is winning us games. It's winning us margins, especially when the offense disappears for a whole half of football because we making plays on special teams. So shout out to Clay, Michael Clay, a guy who has, been through the ups and been through the downs with this team. A really good coordinator, got the special teams playing well. Now I want to talk about, man, the strength of the schedule, because we got to think about everything. We got to put everything into context, especially when it comes to the schedule. 4-0. That's what I want everybody to understand. I know it wasn't pretty. I know it didn't look good the whole time. 4-0 against one of the NFL's toughest slates. Number 4, man. At .561, we've got 11 games versus 2024 playoff teams. The most, tied with Detroit. So we got to keep that same context when folks is nitpicking how this team win football games. We got to think about that as well. I know it's not beautiful. 4-0. Let's talk about a couple roster moves. Eagles signed long snapper Kyle Adamatis, placed Charlie Hewlett and Agbo O on IR, and released Lance Dixon from the practice squad. Clean operation matters when the games start tightening up like they about to. We all get that. We all understand. Got to put the people in place. Let's talk about a couple O-line plus a couple injuries. The offensive line is banged up. We can see that, man. They're not playing well. We know how good this offensive line is, but when you call it how it is, this offensive line is not playing well. But we are banged up. Lane Johnson, shoulder. He ain't even finished the game. Tyler Steen got dinged up. It's been a grind for this interior. It's been a grind. And that's why I think that this offense can't get it together when you put everything into context. Protecting first down efficiency, it starts up front. Jalen Hurts don't have no time to throw the football, even though the route concepts suck. So it's so many different things, so many different points that you have to hit on for a successful offense. Let's talk about our guy Fangio, a guy who keep it 100 with us, man. Fangio, kicking ball rant. Vic said he went basically in professor mode. New kicking ball handling this year is juicing long field goals. That's what he said. After giving up a 65-yarder last game, he's like, let's put this in quotations. Let's put an asterisk on this. He's even joked about Dallas, the kicker there. He might even hit a 70-yarder. I love a defensive coordinator who talks special team economics. Basically, he said that they're not checking these footballs that these guys are kicking with, and these may not be the same footballs that they're playing the game with. So maybe that's the reason why these guys are kicking these field goals left and right. We don't know, but that's basically what he said. But, man, look, let's talk about this Drew Brees stuff. Because we spoke about that earlier this week. You know I like Drew Brees, but I'm really starting to think that he a straight hater. So let's talk about how Drew Brees feel about the Philadelphia Eagles, man. He said Philly's undefeated, barely, and called the offense boring. We spoke about that last week. Cool story, man. Scoreboard, the wins and loss columns, still say 4-0. We'll take the boring dubs over the spicy L's. That's what I need him to understand. Philadelphia Eagles are 4-0. Let's talk about our favorite team we love to hate, the Dallas Cowboys, who are now 1-2-1. That team is trash. That team is a terrible football team. Cowboy fans threw a pep rally on X for Dak Prescott after a tie. Congrats, man. Let the guys get some confetti. They never get to get it. Like I said, man, you're 1-2-1. Y'all didn't win. Y'all didn't lose. You tied. And y'all having a celebration because Dak had a good game in the tie. That's the difference between us. Philly stack dubs. Dallas, they stack moral victories. Two different ways to see things. That team is terrible. But look, man, I need everybody to drop your take about CB2. Should it be Ringo? Should it be Adoree? You know what I'm saying? And what's your first fix for this offense? What should we be doing? How can we put 4 quarters of competent football on tape? Let me know. Leave a comment. Sub up, man. We live this week. We got the Broncos. I think it's going to be a great test for our defense, a great test for our offense. I think we can beat this team really good, but I don't want to overlook them because they are a good team. They did have a good week last week. But a couple things, man, I need to leave with y'all. If Baun is 4-0, keep me bored because I like to win. Ringo Island has vacancies. Apply within. Special teams is the third rail. Touch it and the game flips. Dallas celebrating the tie is peak Dallas. Look, man, if you made it this far in the video, if you felt like this puppy helped you out, please do me a favor. Do the channel a favor. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you always up to date. But until next time, man. I'm out.
Yeah, I got them diamonds on me dancing. Looking like they prancing. Always on my BI, we talking about expansion. Looking at a mansion. Open up the benches. Hanging off the blicket. Empty out the sticky. Shooting like I'm jamming. Chipwood, this good. Sorry that I'm this hood.